First of all, delighted to be here. I'm particularly happy to be able to exchange ideas with you, that you're a person with your ex-capacity as Prime Minister that handled significant decisions for European Union at a very critical time for Greece. Now, of course, my way of looking at things is, of course, financial and business. But, you know, I understand that the single market concept was more political than financial. It was, if I remember correctly, an idea that came out as a result of a war. And it was developed in an attempt to make sure that European countries will never, ever again see the horrifics of an internal war within its territory. And it worked. Free trade, free movement of goods and persons, make people within the European Union closer. We have not had a war for 80 years or almost, but all of a sudden, we start looking at wars at the borders of the European Union. Northeast and now Middle East, bringing war very close to what we wanted to avoid. And from a financial point of view, are we sure that what the people that founded the European Union imagined or dreamed, as you said, is what we're living today? What, for instance, Greece suffered the last 10 years? Single market is very important for us. Greece changed as a result of its participation in the European Union. And of course, Greek companies, Greek people, had significant advantages as a result of its participation. But we entered with dreams, and the dream was of a single market. We never at that time envisaged that we were going to lose sovereignty, but we exceeded sovereignty in the idea of a European Union. A European Union that has no internal borders, and therefore has external borders, and Greece is at the border of the European Union. So we thought, for instance, that if Greece is under attack, then the defense of Greece is a European problem and not a Greek one. The cost of defending Greece and the border, it's a cost of the European Union and not necessarily a Greek problem. The way to fight back a situation of bankruptcy of some entities, some countries of the European Union, especially the southern countries, in Greece specifically, cannot be dealt in such a strict way, in a way that says, it's your problem now, deal with it, suffer with it. We cannot do anything any longer. We're not union in this stage. So find a way to get over bankruptcy with the most hard currency in the world, something that has never been done, to my knowledge, anywhere in the world. And Greece managed to succeed in it and suffers. People, average Greek, is suffering for the last 15 years, but eventually we managed to overcome the problem. Miraculously, I would say, and I personally didn't expect, but it happens. Now we regain the famous investment grade. We lived an era where the European euro, the common currency, was different in the north than the south. The north was investment grade euro. The south, and especially Greece, had junk euro. Nobody was to invest in Greece, nobody to do anything in Greece. So if you ask me if I consider that the European single market succeeded, in my opinion, it failed. And it didn't necessarily fail as a result of Brexit, because the exit started with Grexit. It was not requested by Greece, but it was threatened. So when somebody threatens the exit, it has to accept the possibility of another country not liking the situation and deciding to exit itself. So I agree that Brexit was indeed a serious blow to the idea of the single market, but to some extent, it was driven by the politics of the European Union itself. The same way that I think that the European Union is failing to provide the leadership necessary, not only for the economy, but also for politics. We have a war that Russia created. It struck every single entity in Europe because of all of a sudden significant increase of interest rates. We lived an era where interest rates were zero, and all of a sudden it goes up. Nobody can control that. Nobody's fault. But then again, a country that had to face bankruptcy and managed to avoid it, all of a sudden is left again alone with high interest rates, and nobody can help. There's no mechanism to assist because you are on yourself, on your own. You are not a member of a union. Deal with it again. So deal with the defense. You have to defend yourself. You have to defend against whomever enemy you may have. It's not a European problem. It is part of the deficit, whatever you spend for defense. So you shouldn't do it too much because we are controlling a very strict control as to what the member states' deficits could be. If something happened in Greece in terms of defense, it's a Greek problem. If something happened in Greece as a result of a war that Greece has not created, financially, it's again a Greek problem. And we're asking, where is the union? Is the intention of Europe to create a real union or not? If it is, that means we have common borders, common financial politics, and we have mechanisms to support weaker states. The same way that any other union in the world, especially United States, is doing for too many years. Either that, or we maintain sovereignty. If we do maintain sovereignty, then we are allowed to help people that they suffer, to provide subsidies to people that they cannot afford to pay taxation, to protect our own people and our borders with the means that we can. Probably at that time with a different currency, but not with the hardest currency in the world. How can anyone protect the citizens with a currency that is controlled by somebody else who is not sharing the same ideas? We are very much pro-European. Greece especially is a state that every single one of Greek people that I know and have spoken to is fanatics in terms of single market and European Union. But we are asking, are we a union or not? So, from a business perspective, we have done the impossible, and we have managed to overcome something that seemed to be impossible 10 years ago. Within the European Union, with the strongest currency in the world, we managed to regain investment grade, and we managed again to survive. We will do it as many times as necessary, I assume, but with what cost? So, if I have a reflection to what you said, it would be this. The bet of European Union will succeed or not when the countries will decide what exactly do they want. Do they want a union, or do they want a single market? If it was a single market, we understand the rules. If it's union, we again understand the rules, but we need to know the rules, especially those countries of the South that they have suffered more than anybody else as a result of the financial crisis.